Did the great negotiator Jerry Jones just give up to Dak Prescott? Mike Fisher reporting from Frisco, home of your Dallas Cowboys, where Jerry Jones pops on our radio station, 105.3 The Fan, and says, regarding leverage, basically, Dak's got it. The actual quote is, Mr. Sean, Mr. RJ, I don't know how you can have any more leverage than Dak has. Meaning Dak has the leverage. Meaning Dak has all the leverage in Dallas Cowboy contract negotiations moving forward. As we've reported here, as soon as the Cowboys season ended Sunday, the window opened to begin negotiations with Dak Prescott. I said at the time, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it often, get the cloud out from over the star. That dark cloud that's been hovering here for 2 years, with people in the building wondering when. People in the locker room wondering when. Dak Prescott saying, maybe I shouldn't show up for that work. Or maybe I should be careful with that work. Or the Cowboys saying, maybe we need to make sure we have insurance in case. The debate about salary cap, the debate about the draft, all the dark clouds that all hover over the star for no reason. Because both sides should have done this thing 2 years ago. Now, it almost was done 2 years ago at $30 million. Cowboys thought it was done. I think Todd France, and I think Dak thought it was done. And then Todd France, I believe, said, hey, Dak, why don't you and I work together? I'm getting ready to move to a new agency. You're getting ready to get a new deal. Why don't we work on this together? Let's be brothers in arms on this. And so Todd France and Dak said no, sending the Cowboys scrambling back to the drawing board, and they never quite came up with something else until they came up with $35 million in an offer this year. And again, Todd France, Dak, guided by Todd France, said no. Well within their right, but the dark cloud hovers. You can make it go away, Jerry. You can end all the natural questions that happen in a locker room when there's a contract dispute. Don't the Joneses believe in Dak? If the Joneses don't believe in Dak, should we believe in the Joneses? If the Joneses don't believe in Dak, should we believe in Dak? What do they know that we don't know? We think Dak's great. One of the best leaders we've ever been around. Fine quarterback. There's nobody in that locker room that doesn't think that Dak's a great quarterback, as far as I know, but great quarterback, fine quarterback, whatever. Great leader, great person, perfect for this group. If you can't get Patrick Mahomes, and you can't, okay, and then there's a generation of guys, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, different generation, about over. Well, Aaron Rodgers would disagree, but it's close to over for that generation of guys. Then there's a younger generation up and coming. But Dak Prescott is a Pro Bowl quarterback. You want to top 6, top 7, top 8, top 9. Around here, he's top 1. Now, Steven has said he is the priority, and that's obvious, but it's still good to say it. Jerry's gone beyond that, saying Dak has all the leverage. They can still argue about years, and they can still argue about money, although, again, they were close. They were basically a year off last year, as we reported in this space. It's too bad you can't sign a contract for 4.5 years. That would have been the compromise, and then it would have been done. Dallas offered $35 million APY with $106 million or a little more guaranteed on a 5-year deal, and Dak and France said, I want 4 years, because they want the contract to expire sooner to take advantage of the new NFL TV contract that'll happen, I think, after 2023, I think is when it is. I don't blame them. And of course, the player takes a risk by not taking the long-term money. It'd be nice to have $106 million guaranteed in your pocket. He took a risk, as players do. That risk, of course, is injury-related. You blow out your something and never play again, there goes your $35 million. that you could have had. There goes your $106 million that you could have had. The one thing that's changed about this from the pre the big money era, and I'm talking about whatever, 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and longer than that, you played in the NFL during the season, and in the off season, you're an insurance salesman or a school teacher or something. Why? Because the NFL players didn't get paid enough to not work otherwise. And so then, and again, there wasn't free agency either. Then the team tells you to sign, you sign. You don't have an option to go anywhere. There's no free agency. And you don't have $30 million already in the bank. Same thing with saying, well, I think I'll just play this year out and bet on myself, which is the Dak Prescott slogan. Well, 30 years ago, you didn't bet on yourself because there wasn't enough money in your pocket to just say, oh, I'll pass on a long-term contract. I'll just play this year, make my $100,000, and then risk breaking my neck. 30 years ago or whatever era we're talking about, make $100,000 and you break your neck, you can't afford to fix your neck. You're done. You're done financially. Your neck's done. The whole thing's done. Now, if Dak Prescott, God forbid, or anybody like him, gets hurt in a way, not his ankle, which will be fine, but gets hurt in a way where he could never play again, got $34 million in the bank. He'll be fine. Guys 30 years ago had $34,000 in the bank. Can't live on that the rest of your life. Dak Prescott could live for the rest of his life on what he's already banked in just 4 years in the NFL. He could probably live the rest of his life on what he banked the first 3 years, but he could certainly get by on last year's 30, whatever it was, 32 million, 33 million, whatever it was. So in the bank, that goes, and then into the self-betting parlor, Dak goes, saying, listen, if you don't want to pay me what I think is right, then I'll bet on myself again. And of course, he could do that again in this upcoming year. That'd be $38 million. As I've argued, I did say this to Jerry, by the time you're going to pay him $38 million guaranteed as a franchise tag, why not just give him $38 million a year? Oh, because he's asking for 40? Then give him 40 and end the dark cloud. I think that's what Jerry's saying. We, the Cowboys, established, I think in Jerry's mind, we're not good enough without Dak. That when Dak went down in week 5, we went down, and we never really got back up. If you go around your neighborhood now, and you have kids in your neighborhood, everybody in their front yard has those big inflatable, they got inflatable penguins and inflatable Santas and inflatable snowmen, and I suppose there's an inflatable Jesus. And then during the day, for some reason, they let the air out of them. I don't know why. Don't kids see them during the day, and aren't they entertained? Are you not entertained, kids, during the day? By the big, gigantic Snoopies and the big, gigantic Klondike, whatever that guy's name is, and the big, gigantic, inflatable Grinch? But mom and dad let the air out of them during the day. So when you drive around and walk around your neighborhood during the day, during the holidays, all these inflatable people, that's what the Cowboys were like after week 5. And they tried, and guys gave a speech, and a guy tried hard, and another guy gave a speech. The air was let out of the Cowboys. I think Jerry's realized that not having Dak ever in the near future will let the air out of this franchise. And there's too much money, and there's too much energy, and there's too much hope to let the air out of a franchise over a couple $1 million. Dak says 40, you say 38. It's not worth having a bunch of deflated inflatables all over the star. The Joneses are still talking about the pie, and they're right to talk about the pie. Every dollar that I give Dak is a dollar less than I can give Aldon Smith. And Steven said the other day, all those things are going to play a role. So will the fact that in a COVID era, the salary cap isn't going to go up this year like it usually does. By league rule, you're able to negotiate now. And I think Jerry gets this. He still also lives by, Mr. Mack, deadlines make deals. But the quote from Jerry, he's evolving into a quarterback who has been nothing short of a perfect picture. He has a great ability to win games. He has all the things. You would not be offering Dak what we offered in the past if he wasn't very special. Good. Then soon, let's make another offer. And let's make it special. And let's end some of the drama that has hung over the star for the last 2 years of fallen short negotiations with a quarterback that now has so much leverage that the man on the other side of the negotiating table can't even argue about it. Thank you for subscribing to the Fish Report. Please tell your friends, hit that bell, and know when we're going to hang out, which we'll do, of course, frequently. There really is no off season with me and with you, as we all acknowledge. So stick with us here. Also, of course, catch us with our Cowboys coverage at Sports Illustrated. You can bookmark that and go get us on Twitter and Facebook as well at Fish Sports, and of course on 105.3 The Fan too. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for playing along. We will keep you posted. A lot of stuff about to brew at the Star in Frisco, and that's why we're here. Fish out.